Happy fall equinox, friends. Today it is officially the end of summer and the beginning of fall, and I, for one, couldn't be happier. I'm happy about fall, about the changes and, the holidays and the cooler weather and all the wonderful things that come with it. But there are a few downfalls, such as we know, most people tend to gain weight in the fall and winter. It's been proven. And just like animals, we humans tend to hibernate, in a way of speaking, during the winter months and even the fall months leading up to winter. And that's when we tend to pack on a few pounds. It's dark out earlier, so we're not as active, we're not outdoors like we are in the summertime, and people just tend to look to food for entertainment during this time. And then of course there's the holidays, and they're all centered around food. So yeah, I'm a bit worried about that because I'm only 8 weeks in, almost 9, into my carnivore ketovore lifestyle. And as well as I've been doing, I'm nervous because the seasons really affect the way I eat. And even though I'm feeling good and I feel like I'm strong, I've already had a few downfalls, and so I'm nervous to see what's going to happen. Speaking of downfalls, the past week, like I said, I'm a sugar addict. I'll always be a sugar addict. Even though I don't have as strong of cravings anymore, I will always want sugar. Just like an alcoholic will always battle the desire to drink, or a drug addict. It's always going to be there, and I'm always going to have to fight it. Certainly being a carnivore has made it a lot easier, and it has helped me get over my addiction. But those cravings are always going to be there. They're not as strong, but there's just times, like when you're tired or you're stressed, you tend to think about, I would really like to have a drink. If you're an alcoholic, or if you're a drug addict, you want, a dose of whatever the drug is you want. For me, it's sugar. And so this last week, we're not under any major stress right now. We're past the wildfires and the flood damage, and my husband having COVID and all that stuff. But now we're doing the work, and it's just, we've got a lot going on. And at the end of the day, when you're done and you're tired, you need a little pick me up. And so I thought, well, maybe I'll just have some tea, some apple spice tea. It's really good, but I can't drink it without some sugar or cream in it. And I don't have any stevia, which would be my first choice, but I had some little yellow packets, and I don't know what they're called. But anyway, I just put one in my tea. It said 0 carbs, and I was like, okay, this is perfect. It tasted wonderful. I was like, oh, I love this. And it was great. And then the next day I woke up, I didn't have any issues. So I thought, maybe this is something I can have, right? So I did for the next couple of days. And it was like, I think the 4th morning, I woke up and I was feeling weird. I felt like my blood pressure was up, that feeling you get in your head. And I couldn't find my blood pressure cuff. I do have one, but that's how it felt. And I felt tired. I wasn't as energetic, and I knew that's what it was. It had to be, because that was the only other change in my diet. Every time I do even one thing different, I notice it almost immediately. Well, this took 4 days, but still, I realized, okay, I can't have whatever was in that. And I think, I wish I had the packet with me. It wasn't aspartame, because I don't do anything with aspartame, because I have had aspartame poisoning. I think it was like sucralose. I think that's what it was, but it just made me feel yucky. I didn't like it at all. So I cut it out. And it took a couple days, but I'm feeling better now, and I'm drinking my apple cinnamon tea with just creamer. It's not as good, but I don't want to feel like that. That's just not worth it to me. So hopefully I'll be back to where I was before, but I'm going to have these ups and downs. I'm not a perfect person. I'm not very disciplined. So for me to do as well as I've been doing this far is fantastic for me. I know a lot of people could probably tell me, that I should be doing this or that. But honestly, this is the longest I've lasted on any, like weight loss diet, except for when I was doing Atkins. And I'm really happy with it, but I don't know if I'll ever be as disciplined as some of my friends are that are, just eating meat and salt and water. That just doesn't even appeal to me, but I understand why they're doing it. A lot of these people, my friends that are doing it, are doing like the elimination thing where they have health issues and they want to feel their best. And in order to do that, they have to just limit themselves to, just meat, salt, and water. I haven't gotten to that point yet. And up until now, I didn't feel like I really needed to. But I am finding out there are some things that I will not be able to add back, like the cottage cheese. I'm not going to add that back to my diet. I tried it. So because it's a process of elimination, you cut it all out and you feel great. And then you slowly see if you can add things back in. I haven't found anything that I can add back in yet. I may not. I'm hoping that's not the case. But at this point, I'm eating meat, fish. We had chicken today and bacon, lots of bacon and eggs, a little bit of cheese and my pork rinds. And that's been sufficient, but the holidays are coming and I'm seeing all these recipes coming across my news feed. And, when I'm watching any channel, I see all these different advertisements and it's going to be a struggle. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be a struggle. Some people don't have any problem with it. I will. I know I will. So I'm going to need some help. I'm going to need some encouragement. Today being the fall equinox, I have, some rituals I like to do. And one of them is lighting candles for my intentions for the upcoming season. So obviously, I focused on having the energy to stick with this way of eating. I'm hoping that I will be strong enough to continue to do it without faltering too much. I imagine there are going to be times, especially on the holidays, when I might. But for me, it's not even necessarily about the weight loss, although I am kind of getting addicted to that aspect of it because I've gotten over my health issues, which is why I initially got on this. I'm feeling great. My energy's up. I'm sleeping wonderfully. I have no aches and pains. All my inflammation is gone. So now I just have to look forward to actually losing weight, which I said at the beginning, even if I hadn't lost any weight, I would have stuck to this. I don't know if that's true now because, once I started feeling good and on the days that the scale wasn't going down, I found myself getting frustrated and seriously thinking about, ditching this and trying something else, but I didn't. I stuck with it. I'm glad I did because the scale has gone, down, but there's been days when it's climbed back up and that freaked me out because I thought, this is not fair. This is not fair. I am really trying. I'm sticking to this. How dare that happen? That's just not even, fair. But oddly enough, it would go up and then it would come down just, a little bit. But then I'd be like, okay, I'm not even going to weigh myself for a couple of days because this is upsetting me too much. So I didn't get on the scale for 3 days. And when I got on this morning, I had dropped like 4 pounds. So I was like, whew. And that was the encouragement I needed to continue on with this. So I think I am going to back off the scale. I do like what Dave Mack says about, what you measure, you manage. And I do agree with that. And definitely, I'm not going to go too long without getting on the scale because that's how I got in this predicament in the first place. I was scared to death to get on the scale. I just didn't even want to know. And by the time I got on it, it was far too late. So I don't want to get to that point. I do want to weigh myself, but maybe I will, go 3, 4 days. I don't know if I can go a week, but I think I'll try. I'll see. But yeah, I've been doing really well. Otherwise, I'm still enjoying it. I'm still enjoying the food. Thank God, my husband's a wonderful cook, and he's made some great meat dishes. Very flavorful, and we even, he makes so much that we can eat the leftovers cold and snack on them. So I haven't had any issues with that. Plus, I don't buy any of the bad foods. They're not in my house. So that really helps a lot. But the urges are still there. And I think about them. I'm like, man, what if I just had this? Or, maybe I could just have that. But I haven't given into them yet. Like I said, it was just, the sweetener in the tea. And that, was bad enough. And I'm not going to do that again. But man, it did taste so good. I was like, oh, and I only had to use one sweetener because before I started this, I would have used 3 to make it sweet enough. And now one sweetener was more than plenty. It was almost too much. And it was just like, oh, it was luscious. I was like, oh, this is so good. But I'm thinking maybe I'll just get some stevia and try that and see if that'll work. But stevia does have a kind of an aftertaste. And I might try it. Everybody keeps telling me allulose, and I even went online to order it, but I never pressed, order. It's in my cart, so I need to do that and see. But I think the allulose has more carbs, if I'm not mistaken. I thought that was one of the ones that had carbs. I'll check into it and see. But I would only be using one, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal. But anyway, so that's what I wanted to talk about as far as, my eating and, the carnivore, ketovore lifestyle. I'm sticking with it. I'm still talking about it. I'm still trying to get other people to do it. My brother even called me today, and he really is considering it. He had a health scare this week, and he really wants to give it a try. So I hope I encouraged him and gave him the information to get him going on that. But like I said, it's fall equinox. We're so excited about fall, or I am. I am well over summer. I was over summer a month ago. So I am so looking forward to this. And, even though my house is in disarray, I try to do some of my fall rituals, like lighting candles and setting my intentions for the upcoming season. I have my gratitude journal. I like to keep track of all the things that I'm grateful for. And I'm doing a gratitude jar. And every day I want to write down one thing that I'm grateful for, whether it's, it doesn't have to be something big. It could just be like a kindness from a stranger or warm slippers on a cold morning, a beautiful sunset. But I want to start writing something down every day and putting it in the jar. And then when winter comes, I want to be able to pull all these things out and see just how abundant my life really is, because sometimes we don't think about all those things. We focus on the negative, and I really want to focus on the positive, because when you focus on the positive things, more positive things happen. When you focus on negative things, more negative things happen. So that's definitely something that I am going to be working on this fall. And decorating my home is usually very special to me this time of year. I can't do it right this minute because we're, remodeling, but hopefully this next month. I love bringing in elements from nature, pine cones and fall leaves and dried herbs and flowers, and I make wreaths out of them. And I like to make my own homemade potpourri with like cinnamon sticks and orange pills and cloves, and then lighting candles. I used to even make my own candles, and it just creates such a beautiful energy in my home. And I like to do a smudging this time of year and just cleanse it of any, negative energy, which is positive ions, and get rid of all that, sweep all that out, and just start fresh and clean. And I love doing that. And I can't do that yet. I would normally have started it today, but I will be doing that soon. My husband has painted the living room and part of the dining room, and he plans on finishing the rest of it tomorrow. And then next weekend, he's going to lay the floor. I just do all odds and ends, take down all the curtains and take down everything and dusting and cleaning and washing my drapes and helping him with, just the little things and kind of doing like a spring cleaning, but in fall. So it feels good to do that. It's nice to lighten yourself, by getting rid of stuff. And that's another one of ritual that I like to do. I like to have a bonfire in the backyard and have everybody talk about, things that they were grateful for this year and things that they're looking forward to in the upcoming season. And we like to focus on that stuff, especially, the kids. And it's just something that I still want to do. I'm hoping that we'll get to do it in, a couple of weeks. And, just like the trees, they let go of their leaves this time of year. It's a good time for us to let go of things that no longer serve us. And that can even be material things. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm getting rid of all those things that I've had in cabinets and closets that I haven't even looked at for 6 months or a year. Obviously I don't need it. So it's time to lighten the load and get rid of that. And that's just one of the, wonderful rituals that we do in the fall. Just like, we have our spring cleaning. Well, fall, I'm getting ready to, for a long fall and winter, I hope. And it just feels good because I'm going to be spending more time in my home. And when my home is cleaner and organized, I feel better mentally. It gives you more that mental clarity. So these rituals are very important for me to do, and like I said, I'm doing them, but not on the time frame that I normally would. So it's going to bug me until I get them all done. And yeah, like I said, especially once I get my house decorated, I'll feel so much better. But I'm, my house aside, I'm more worried about my personal health. And that's what I'm going to be focusing on with my gratitude journal and, my intentions for the coming season. So if you have any issues with that, you might think about doing that yourself. It really helps, when you focus on it, you meditate on it, pray on it. It really helps these things to come to pass. You can't just go, well, I hope it happens. You really have to, make it a solid goal that you're working towards. Think about it on the daily, not just, every once in a while. You have to think about this all the time. And, this is a goal you're setting for yourself and, know the steps that you need to take to achieve that. You can't just wish it into happening. It doesn't work that way. Not even when you're trying to manifest things. You don't just wish for it to happen. You gotta, you ask for the steps that you need to take to be shown to you, because maybe you don't know the way, but you want to do what you need to do. So pray on that. Pray that you will find the right steps that will take you to your goal, so you can achieve that. And that's what I'm going to be working on. So anyway, I can hear it in my voice. I don't know if you can, but I always get really tired this time of night. And we've been really busy, but I wanted to make this video since this is the fall equinox and I wanted to get it out there. So that's it. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.
You said good